All right, this is the ProAct Traders Forex charting software. Now, what makes us different? Harmony, we use multiple time compressions to find that. Momentum, we capture the market movers. We have 4 trade setups built into our templates, nothing for you to change or work around moving average and exponentials and weighted and all that stuff. We have 3 tools available nowhere else. That's an HSI tool for finding targets, a PAT projector to find the pulse of the current session move, and T30s, which are 30 pip targets automatically displayed by the software. We have free training and a free trading wheel. So how do we do this? We're looking for harmony. It's the key to trading, and we use multiple time compressions to find that. Big boys trade on the 60-minute chart and above, and the little guys trade on a 3, 5, 10, 15, and 30. So who normally wins? The big boys. So we created charts using the big boys' information pushed down to the little guys' trading arena. Momentum. This relates to speed. We can't measure volume in the Forex, so therefore we have to be able to measure momentum. Is there any speed in the market? Are the big boys moving the market? If the big boys are moving the market, we show it. Who normally wins? The big boys. So we created charts using the big boys' information pushed down to the little guys' trading arena. So here's how we do it. First thing is to determine if we're trending, ranging, or reversing. How do we know? We define the area between the moving averages as the desert, and we have very special moving averages on our charts. Moving away from the desert, the market is trying to trend. And moving into the desert, the market is either ranging or possibly reversing. So how does this look? Well, you can see over here the area between this moving average and this moving average is what we call the desert. Okay, over here on the right side, we still have the desert. Okay, right over in here. So, as long as the candles are inside the desert, the market is transitioning, reversing, or ranging, one of those things. All right. So here you have the up move, and then we break down and we break into the desert as the market reverses. Over on this side, we have a break away from the desert, which means the market is trending. Okay. So here's a wild card trade setup. It is a trending trade setup. So we use harmony and momentum on the very same chart. You can see right over here that this is the desert area, and we have moved away from the desert. Therefore, we are only a buyer. Okay. The next thing we need are the big boys entering. That's that little white dot that shows up that says, yes, the big boys entered at the 60-minute level. Now we need to see our signal, which is an arrow and a painted candle. And when that arrow and painted candle shows up after the white dot, moving away from the desert, we have a trade. Here's a 6 aces trade setup. Now, 6 aces is a ranging or a reversing trade setup. It's when you're in the desert. All right. So let's take a look at this chart. You can see that we have hit the R4 target, okay, a place of reversal. Right? We can look over here and we can see that, yes, the candles are moving into the desert, the space between these two moving averages. So since we have a separate trade setup for that, we immediately switch to the 6 aces trade setup. And now we can see over here that we have an arrow and painted candle. That's our signal that the money is coming in a downward move because of the direction here, and we're headed into the desert. What do we need? We need confirmation from multiple time compressions telling us that this move is sustainable. So we have these little oscillators that we created called PAT-Os, okay? And we can see that the 3-minute is in harmony for a down move. The 7-minute is in harmony for a down move. The 30-minute is in harmony for a down move. All right, but we still got to see that if the big boys are here. So we have a red candle over here telling us we can see the direction of the move, and these are called HMIs. They are momentum indicators telling us at the 60-minute level there is speed, there is momentum entering the market. So now we have all this confirmation from all these multiple time compressions. We simply make our entry when we get an arrow and a painted candle on a 3-minute chart. And here's the result of that trade right there. It went 210 pips from the start of that trade down here to the bottom. Pretty good. Now here's a royal flush trade setup. A royal flush is a swing trade setup. It's also called Elliott wave. All right. So You can see, once again, multiple time compressions to see this move, okay? First thing we have is a wildcard entry. The white dot tells us the big boys have entered on the 60-minute chart. We're out of the desert, as we can see that, so we're moving away from the desert, and we got an arrow and painted candle. That's our signal to enter right there, all right? Now, we need to confirm it, all right? So we look over down here. This is the 60-minute, okay? We need to have the 60-minute because the big boys are on the 60-minute. We can see that we have neutral in terms of momentum here, but it hasn't had enough power to change it to red yet, so it's neutral. But we're below this moving average, another special moving average, and our candles are trending below. So this confirms that this move is probable. And we look over here and we see that we have on each time compression both the momentum indicator and the oscillator, the pad O, red and red, red and red, red and red, red, and this is called a blackjack right here as it moves through the moving average. What's the result of that trade? We can see it's a great trade. It's moved about 90 pips, and it's still moving down for us. It's still headed to the targets. All right, great. You can find entries, but can you find exits? We have three ways to find high probability targets, not counting technical analysis. There are T30s, PAT projectors, and HSI tool. So let's look at each one of them. These are T30 targets, and you can see how the market immediately knows. They know where these T30s are. As you can see, the market respects them over and over and over again as they continue up this move here. So our goal is to stay in, and when we hit the T30s, move our stops. You can see that. Now, 30 pips is a whole lot more than the average trader is trading because the average trader is only grabbing 5 to 8. So this will keep you in trades longer. All right. Now, our first entry of this session always has an initial target of 55 pips, right? So here's a chart, and we're going to downtrend, and we need the big boys to enter it. There they come in at the white dot, okay? So we measure from that white dot, and we're waiting for our signal, right? There's our signal coming in. So we use the PAT projector. It's pre-set up on my right here for 35 pip stop and a 55 pip limit. What we want to do is be able to see it visually. Okay, so we'll click right there on that candle where we got the our entry signal, and it will tell us there's our entry signal. There's the limit. That's 55 pips. You see that? And so the it'll help you stay into these trades for 55 pips. Well, the key is you got to know which candle the money came in. And our charts are the only ones in the world that show that. Now, the HSI tool is a tool that we use to find a top or a bottom, giving us a starting point for the next leg of the movement. We simply click on the starting point, tell it whether we're a buyer or a seller, and the HSI tool gives us the supports and resistances based on that direction that are the targets. The HSI calculates the Fibonacci ratios and the historical supports and resistances instantly and shows us where the big boys targets really are. There is no tool like it on the planet. So here we got a bottom of a leg here. All right, so we're going to mark our HSI, and we simply click down here and tell it we're a buyer, and it gives us these targets. Okay, and you can see the market knows right where they are. See how it comes up to the R3, breaks down, goes sideways along the R3. When it does finally break, it goes to the R4, pulls back down, and then it breaks the R4, comes up to the R4 again. Well, we know these targets ahead of time. So right now we'd be looking for a break of the R4, and if it breaks, we're going to the R5. Very simple. All right. Now we can simply add up to T30s. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 150 pips roughly sitting in here waiting to be had. If we break this top, that's our next target. There it is. So what happened? Boom. As you can see, when it broke, it went right to it. Okay. So you can see why we stress staying in until the targets are hit. So here's the deal. Try us free for 2 weeks. During that time, you can test us and learn the setups free. Download over 20 training tutorials free. Trade in our live trading room with a certified mentor free. Take part in live weekly training classes free. Download a free demo at www.proactraders.com. Thanks for watching.